Hi everyone. Um, my name's David. I'll just change the name here so that you can see. Welcome to our session, our Sunday session. For me, it's Sunday night, but for you, it's Sunday different times. In this session, what we do is just generally run the test. Yep. So we're going to start, not too many methods explained, but I need to know that you can see and can hear. So if you can see and can hear, can you write yes in the chat box? Yay. Yes in the chat box. If you can see and can hear. Alrighty. Okay. We're going. Hi, Wilfredo, Freddie, Irfan. Brilliant to have you here. Excellent. You can see each other's names in the chat box. We're going to get started and we're going to roll on through because we're just really running practice, yep, rather than instructions. Now, instructions happen on Tuesday. Speaking, writing, sorry, and instructions happen on Monday night. In the meantime, we're going to practice in this session. But do practice from the platform. Become familiar with the tasks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 tasks of PTE, and then get assessment, get feedback on your efforts, because you need to be corrected by someone who can hear you and give you logical feedback. Use the platform to develop all of your skills, and that includes all the skills attached to each of the tasks, which is speaking, writing, reading, and listening. And then do a mock test, as you'll need results back so that you can know what you can do and what you need to do for test day. All right, we're going to practice each speaking task, briefly look at answers and scoring, not spend time on methods because we're going to, please join the methods class during the week for that. And you will need help. We all need help. And you can take a one-to-one tutorial as well. 5 tasks: read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, answer short question. In the test, there are a number of each of those tasks. Each task is timed. So you just allow the time to time out, then it will move on to the next task. And we're going to get very good at it by understanding what to do and then practicing. Grab a phone so you can record yourself. First of all, we're going to start with read aloud. So remember, we're just rolling through the tasks. 5 tasks. First one is read aloud. 35 seconds to prepare, then 35 seconds to read aloud. 35 seconds preparation time starts now. Are you ready to read aloud? Here we go. Time starts now. Okay, so here's an answer. We're looking at the nouns, adjectives, yep, verbs and adverbs. Listen to the model answer.
Dictionaries are a wonderful guide and resource, but there is no objective dictionary authority out there that is the final arbiter about what words mean. If a community of speakers is using a word and knows what it means, it's real.
Beautiful, straightforward and easy. Let's do another one. Again, you're marked on content, fluency, and pronunciation. Ready for another one? 40 seconds to prepare, then 40 seconds to read aloud. Preparation time starts now. Get ready, here we go. Okay, listen to the model answer being read out. Read along with it.
New research shows there might be health benefits to eating certain types of dark chocolate. Findings from 2 studies recently presented at the Experimental Biology 2018 annual meeting in San Diego showed that consuming dark chocolate with a high concentration of cacao, minimally 70% cacao, 30% organic cane sugar, has positive effects on stress levels, inflammation, mood, memory, and
Whoop, sorry. Beg your pardon. I'm just going to play that again. I beg your pardon. So, sorry about that. We're going to listen to it again. Read along.
New research shows there might be health benefits to eating certain types of dark chocolate. Findings from 2 studies recently presented at the Experimental Biology 2018 annual meeting in San Diego showed that consuming dark chocolate with a high concentration of cacao, minimally 70% cacao, 30% organic cane sugar, has positive effects on stress levels, inflammation, mood, memory, and immunity.
Good work. Not only is it good information, but we're going to read it to make sense. Okay. 5 for content, 5 for fluency, 5 for pronunciation. 2 of those, 2 out of 15, each one out of 30. Good work, Wilfredo. Now, here we go. What we're going to do is you'll hear a sentence, repeat the sentence exactly as you hear it, and you'll hear the sentence only once. So the method is to focus, listen, and repeat. So understand what was said and then repeat it. You can close your eyes if you need to. Here we go.
So we have taught a machine to see with the eyes of a coach.
Okay, and that looked like this. Yep, and sounded like this.
So we have taught a machine to see with the eyes of a coach.
Great. Remember, you're speaking it out loud, so practice closing your eyes and speaking what you can hear. Here's the next one. Ready? Focus, listen, and repeat.
People who speak different languages will pay attention to different things.
This is what you heard. That's what was said. This is what you heard.
People who speak different languages will pay attention to different things.
Right. Good work. Now remember, we're speaking it out loud, not writing it, because it's a speaking part of the test, or speaking test. I can see what you've written, but you need to speak it out loud. Good on you for repeating it, though. So again, this one, listen, understand, and repeat.
Our financial markets are based on mathematical models.
Okay, here it is.
Our financial markets are based on mathematical models.
Good work. So speaking it out loud so you get the pronunciation right as well, because you'll be marked on content. 50% or more words correct, 2 marks. All words, 3 marks. So try to get more than 50%. Fluency and pronunciation. All right, describe image. Now, we're going to give it a title, an x-axis, 3 key features, and conclusion. Here we go. Where we go. Let's do another one. Title x-axis, 3 key features and conclusion. Okay, bit of a challenge, but we're going to get good at this. Let's do another one. Title, x-axis, 3 key features and conclusion. Okay, so following through the model answers, listening and reading at the same time.
This line graph shows changes in fuel consumption in the US from 1960 to 2015. From 1960 until 1975, fuel consumption remained constant as a proportion of miles travelled. However, after that period, miles travelled began to diverge and increased at a faster rate than fuel consumption. From 2000, gains in fuel consumption efficiency began to level off. Overall, both miles travelled and fuel consumption rose throughout the period, but by 2015, people were travelling more miles and using less fuel to do it.
All good? Yep, just checking it out. And this one?
This image displays major US goods exported to Australia and Australian goods exported to the US in 2017. The biggest category for each country was other, but apart from that, the largest export from the US was machinery, valued at $5.5 billion, while the largest Australian export was meat, valued at $1.5 billion. The lowest exports into Australia were agricultural products, and the lowest into the US were precious stones and metals. In conclusion, it can be seen that the US trade into Australia has a much higher value than the trade in the other direction.
Okay, we've got the idea. Title x-axis, 3 key features and conclusion. All right for the standard ones. Hang on, we've got questions here. All right for the standard ones, but for the ones that aren't standard. Yeah. Good work, Catalina. Yeah, you won't repeat exactly this model here. You will find something different, but you'll get the same structure and pretty much similar information. Okay, 5 for content, 5 for fluency, and 5 for pronunciation. Be aware again that this is all you're being marked on. Yep, not your other information, but just these ideas here. Good work. Now, retail lecture, we're going to take notes. Remember, we write DMD TDS down the page, DMD TDS, because it structures our ideas and gives us a chance for feeding back using these reporting verbs. Okay, so listen, take notes, and then retail lecture.
I come from Costa Rica, a developing country. We are nearly 5 million people and nearly 100% of our electricity comes from renewable sources, 5 of them: hydropower, geothermal, wind, solar, biomass. Did you know that last year, for 299 days, we did not use any fossil fuels in order to generate our electricity? It's a fantastic achievement, and yet it hides a paradox, which is that nearly 70% of our energy consumption is oil. Why? Because of our transportation system, which is totally dependent on fossil fuels, like it is in most countries. So if we think of the energy transition as a marathon, the question is, how do we get to the finishing line? How do we decarbonize the rest of the economy? And it's fair to say that if we don't succeed, it's difficult to see who will. So that is why I want to talk to you about Costa Rica, because I believe we are great candidates in pioneering a vision for development without fossil fuels.
Cool. Okay, we're going to get good at it. Here's a sample answer. Again, there are the notes, which were similar to what you would have taken, not exact probably, and then the format of the response. Here we go.
The speaker was discussing renewable energy. She mentioned that Costa Rica's electricity is almost 100% generated by renewables. Then she talked about how the country had gone 299 days without fossil fuels. Next, she described how this hid a paradox, which was that nearly 70% of all the country's energy consumption is actually oil, and this is due to transportation. She discussed that transport is totally dependent on fossil fuel. Finally, she suggested that Costa Rica should pioneer a model for development based solely on renewables.
Okay, good, isn't it? Now, you will get something like this because in the amount of time, you've just got to get the facts out in the short amount of time that you've got. Let's do another one. Look at the image, take notes, and retail lecture. Here we go.
New Orleans. It was a great place to grow up, but it's one of the most vulnerable spots in the world. Half the city is already below sea level. In 2005, the world watched as New Orleans and the Gulf Coast were devastated by Hurricane Katrina. 1,836 people died. Nearly 300,000 homes were lost. Other parts of the world have been hit by storms in even more devastating ways. In 2008, Cyclone Nargis and its aftermath killed 138,000 in Myanmar. Climate change is affecting our homes, our communities, our way of life. We should be preparing at every scale and every opportunity. The changes in these times won't affect us all equally. There are important distributional consequences, and they're not what you always might think. In New Orleans, the elderly and female-headed households were among the most vulnerable. For those in vulnerable, low-lying nations, how do you put a dollar value on losing your country where your ancestors are buried? And where will your people go? And how will they cope in a foreign land? Will there be tensions over immigration or conflicts over competition for limited resources? It's already fueled conflicts in Chad and Darfur. Like it or not, this is our future.
DMD TDS. All right, getting better at it. Here's our model. Let's read through and listen at the same time.
The speaker was discussing climate change. She mentioned that half of New Orleans is below sea level. Then she talked about the devastation caused by Cyclone Katrina and by a 2008 cyclone in Myanmar. Next, she described how climate change is affecting our way of life, but that we won't all be affected equally. She discussed the vulnerability of low-lying nations and the problem of putting a dollar value on loss of country. Finally, she suggested that we can expect conflict in future over immigration and over limited resources.
Organising your ideas in the short amount of time that you've got. Yep, so you have to keep an eye on the clock and you have to cut to the end before it cuts out. Okay, 555 again, content fluency and pronunciation. We're nearly at the end. Answer short question. Just give a short answer, focus, listen, and respond. Good work, Pachu. Good notes. Make sure you're putting them in the right order. Here we go. Question 1.
When two people get married, the wife is called the bride. What is the husband called? When two people get married, the wife is called the bride. What is the husband called?
The groom. Yep, good work. Second one. Focus, listen, and respond.
What is the name of Australia's island state?
Okay, we love the state. It's my favorite place. It is, did you know it? Tasmania.
What is the name of Australia's island state?
All right. And this final one here, we're just doing 3. Let's listen, focus, listen, and respond.
The word fridge is a common abbreviation of which longer word?
Yep, fridge is short for refrigerator.
The word fridge is a common abbreviation of which longer word?
Yay, refrigerator. So if you didn't know that before, you know it now. Now, cumulative score of 147. Yep. So how did you go? Again, it's a rough guide. You'll be aiming for 50, 65, 79, or even 90. But you need to know that out of 147, if you got 130, you'd get 79 and above. So that's what you're really aiming for. If you got 105, 65 and above, 50 would be a result of 80 and above. All right. So if you need help with listening, vocabulary, general knowledge, pronunciation, and fluency, practice from the platform, listen to the model answers, record yourself, give yourself feedback, get feedback from the maestros, from the master teachers as well. So do the assessments, get feedback from the markers, practice each of the tasks, turn up to the live classes, including the skills classes, and then practice a mock test to get feedback, and then turn up to a one-to-one tutorial if you need it as well. Or there we are again in our small group classes, which we love to do with you guys. Okay, so yeah, Pachu, it is a good idea to continue to listen, take notes, and retell lectures from podcasts, particularly academic ones. Yep, it's a good question to ask. From TED Talks or from any podcasts that you hear that are science related. Very good idea. Hey, thanks for dropping in. That's what we did today. We ran through the test. You've got an idea about what you need to do. See you in class again during the week. Practice attending the live classes and participating, doing work off the platform and getting feedback. Well done, guys. We are good. We're going to get better. So all the best of luck and see you again. See you in class soon. Okay, so stop the pausing. See you in class soon. Have a great week. Have a great rest of the Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you again as we develop our skills. Ciao. Bye now.